Welcome to a parallel project training APM Project Management Qualification podcast based on the APM Body of Knowledge 6th edition. You should be using this in conjunction with our e-learning, study guide and potentially a tutor-led course. For more information, please visit www.parallelprojecttraining.com.
Hello, welcome to another Parallel Project Training podcast. Today we have Paul Neighbour and
John Bolton,
and we've got to one of the most gripping and exciting topics in the APM Project Management. John's favourite topic, earned value.
I love earned value.
Now, our advice...
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No, it's not.
Don't do it.
No, the APM might be listening.
No, don't do it.
All right, don't do it.
Because unless you're a maths genius, like my daughter, who got bloody 100% in this question when she did it, the chances of making a small arithmetical error.
No, I think that's a bit black and white. That I think some people stare at this for hours and hours and hours and never get it. It's another dolphin topic. Yeah, so it's either, but I think you can still get the principles of it because there's a big danger in just ignoring it. I think.
Oh, I wouldn't ignore it, but I would not put it at the top of my list. Even I mean, I like earned value, but I wouldn't even do it really if I could waffle on about communications.
But you can get a simpler question like, what are the benefits and disadvantages of earned value?
That's right. So let's look at the assessment criteria. So the first one is describe the advantages and disadvantages of earned value management, which I would recommend it to the house, and perform earned value calculations and interpret the earned value data. I think you have to be quite confident with the topic to take that one on. I thought
there's some people as well that are too confident with it. Yes. That they know too much about it.
Yes.
Because the APM, this syllabus takes quite a simplistic view of it all.
Yes.
And there's lots of if you're really into the detail, there's a few issues with it.
Yes.
And I think some people that are confident think too hard about it and overly confuse themselves. Mm-hmm. It's actually fairly straightforward if you want to do it, I think. But I sympathise with that. But if you get the first bits of it wrong, all the conclusions are wrong, and people can score either 0 or 100, don't they?
Yes, that's right. It's quite easy to get.
But not all the questions are mathematical. There are interpretation questions, and there are benefits of advantages. So it is worth covering it.
Yes.
But don't spend an inordinate amount of time on it.
I mean, if you don't get it fairly quickly, then I wouldn't waste.
No, on the 5-day courses, you could spend 2 or 3 hours doing it, but it's only 1 out of 37 topics.
Because it's just one of the more difficult ones. So let's run through what it is. So, earned value is just a way of measuring progress in financial terms, really. Because we just said we've got a baseline plan, a baseline cost. So we've converted the plan into a cost measure, cost per month. And we're going to track our actual costs that way. And the other element in the equation is the progress that we've achieved. So what I'd really like to do is convert that progress into the same currency, which is cost. So the way we do that is we take the work package budget at completion and we multiply it by its percentage complete. So if you've got a £600 work package and it's 100% complete, you've earned £600. If you've got a £600 work package and it's 50% complete, you've earned £300.
So when you say budget, you're talking about the planned cost, aren't you?
I'm talking about the budget for that work package.
The budget at completion for that work package.
Yeah.
So if you've got 2 work packages and one's 100 grand's worth of work and one's 150 grand's worth of work.
Yes.
Work package A and B.
Yes.
Then your budget of completion for work package A is 100.
Yes.
Your budget of completion for work package B is 150.
Yes.
And your budget of completion for the project is 250.
Correct.
Okay. So you need to know at what level you're working, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. So you can apply this at the whole project. In fact, in the APM they talk about this qualification. They talk about applying for the whole project generally.
Yeah. So that level of details doesn't matter really.
No.
But I don't know. There used to be some questions in there apparently about.
Well, as you've got in the book, the model answer in the
talks about individual work packages
is quite a good way of working. But we'll come to that.
Yeah, okay.
We'll come to that. So, can I draw a picture?
Yeah, but they won't be able to see it, will they?
Well, I can put a photo on the podcast.
Can you?
Yes.
Oh, God. All right, then.
So, let's take a 3-day activity. 1.
Paul's now just drawing a bar chart with 3 lines on it. 1, 2... Are they going to see this?
Yes, I'll stick it on the...
You could get Bruce to draw one.
Yeah, no, I'll just take a photo of this sheet of paper and stick it on. So that's a 3-day activity.
Right.
Is to write a document.
Okay.
To write a report. So that's just one work package. So we're going to work on one work
3 days.
3-day, nice short work package. We're going to use 2 people each day.
Yeah.
For 3 days.
Yeah.
And to make the maths easy, we're going to make them £100 per man day. My maths got
person day.
Person day. So that's two people for 3 days. So my budget at completion for this work package,
yes, is
£600.
Correct.
600 quid.
So that's 6 days.
6 person days.
2 days each for 3 days is 6 days times 100.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
my budget at completion.
That's your budget at completion. So I can now draw the planned cost, which is a curve, which shows how much I'm going to spend each day, cumulatively.
People get confused when you use the word curve because that's a straight line.
But in this case, it's going to be a straight line. Yeah. But on a real project,
mathematically, it's still called a curve, even though it's a straight line, isn't
it? On a real project, it would look like a curve.
Yes.
But because I've got a nice linear
usually looks like a hockey stick.
Yes.
But anyway, go on.
That's right. So in this case, it would just go up like that.
Oh, straight line. Just drawn a straight line, 45 degrees on a right-angled grid.
Yes.
Go.
So showing planned expenditure. So after the first day, 1, 2, 3 days in, after the first day I will have spent £200, £400, £600.
Mm-hmm.
So my budget at completion for the whole work package will be £600.
Yeah, we knew that.
We knew that. So that's my top line there.
Uh-huh.
And when I've done all that work, I've finished the project.
Yes.
Or this work package. So the next question is, take day 2. Okay. What's my planned cost at the end of day 2? How much will I have spent?
How much are you planning to spend?
Yes.
400 quid.
400 quid. So my planned expenditure at the end of day 2. Now the trick with earned value is we use that to both measure expenditure and our progress.
Right.
Because that measure, how much will I have earned at the end of the project?
I don't know what you mean by earned.
Okay. What will be my planned cost at the end of the project?
600.
£600. Good.
But no, that's your budget completion.
Yes, that's right.
So the same thing.
So at the end of the work package, the budget of completion
is
and
the same as your planned cost.
Are the same.
Right.
Yeah,
and your budget never changes.
And my budget never changes unless I get a change request.
Okay.
Unless there's an agreed change request.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So now let's wind the clock forward and say it's now the end of day 2.
Okay.
So we've had 2 days of progress.
Yep.
And we now want to measure our progress on this work package.
What are they doing?
Writing a report.
Okay.
So there's loads of ways of measuring progress, which we're not going to cover here.
Let's not do that.
Because that's a whole podcast in itself.
Let's, at some point, envisage the fact that they are, I don't know, 50% of the way through.
Let's do 90% of the way through.
No, let's do 50.
No, 90 works better.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Well, just because it works better doesn't mean it's a better example.
No, but so we're 90%.
Right.
So that means for our project, the document is signed.
So after 2 days, we're 90% of the way through.
Yeah. So that means that it's been drafted.
Yes.
Reviewed internally.
Yes.
Sent to the customer.
Yes.
Got their comments back.
Yes.
And all that's left to do is to do
a few mods.
Do the identified mods and final sign off by the customer.
So there's 0.6 of a day's worth of work to do.
0.6 of a day, something like that, yes. But we can work that out with earned value. So, are we ahead or behind the plan?
Well, I've just done it without earned value.
Yes, I know. It's all intuitive. So there's nothing complicated, right?
No. So why are you bothering?
Yeah. So are we
carry on.
So we ahead or behind the plan?
Yeah. What?
Are we ahead or behind?
At this point we plan to have spent £400. I don't know what we've actually spent.
No.
So I've got no idea.
Well, it's a 3-day task.
Yes.
And after 2 days, when 90% of the work's done, and it's linear.
You mean are we ahead of budget or schedule?
Progress.
We're ahead of schedule.
We're ahead of schedule.
That's right, because we've done 90% of the work, and we would have planned to have done 66.67%.
That's right. So about 30% ahead of the work. But the plan was done in cost.
20% odd.
Whatever. Yes. The plan was done in cost.
Yes.
And what we'd really like to do is convert that percentage complete into a common currency, which is cost.
Okay.
Planned cost. So what I'd really like to know is we invent a new term called earned value. I have earned 90% of the work package budget. So I've earned 90% of the back, which is £600. So I have earned £540
worth of earned value.
And that's worth of earned value. And that's just an estimate of the progress. I haven't actually earned that much money.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't actually billed that much money.
So
earned
value is 90% times 600 quid, which is 500 quid. Got
yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
And earned value, definition of earned value?
Is percentage complete multiplied by the budget.
No, what does it mean? What does the term earned value mean?
It's the value of the work that's been completed.
Okay.
What does it say in the book? Earned value.
It says that it's the value of the work completed that can't be taken away.
Yes, that's right.
So it's the stuff you've earned as a consequence of the work that you've done.
Yes, that's right.
Regardless of the amount of work that you've done,
yes.
You've earned that amount of value. And the earned value is valued as a consequence of how much you thought it was going to cost to make in the first place,
that's
and how
right.
much of it you now got.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So I've earned 540 because I've done 90% of the work.
Yeah, I mean, this all comes down to your estimation of percent complete.
That's one of the weaknesses. Very good. One of the weaknesses of earned value is how good are you at
because it's very sensitive to that percentage.
It is. And if I was slightly unethical or wasn't totally open and honest in my reporting, then I could quite easily manipulate that number to, I might put 66%.
Oh, I don't believe anyone would ever do that.
No. Right, so I am ahead of plan, so I can now draw this curve on here, up to 600.
You're ahead of schedule, Paul.
I'm ahead of schedule, that's right. How much ahead of schedule? I should have done £400 worth of work by now. I've actually achieved £540 worth of work, so I am £140 worth of ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a schedule variance of 140 ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the ratios later, shall we? Yeah, we'll come to those later. Now, so that's measured my progress against the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
What I haven't measured is how much I've spent to achieve that progress.
Mm-hmm.
And that information would come from the timesheets, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So these two people have filled in a timesheet.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say, well, why have I got so far ahead? It's because I had a similar report that I'd written previous week that I just reworked. So I didn't need to use two people each day. I only needed to use one person each day. And that one person has had a really good run and achieved 90% of the work. So my expenditure so far, my actual cost, is I had one person on the first day, one person on the second day.
Mm-hmm.
So I've spent how much?
How much? 200 quid.
200 quid. So £100 a day, so I've spent £200.
Mm-hmm.
So if I plot my actual cost on here, actual cost equals £200. So
it was a rubbish plan, though, wasn't it?
it was.
Your estimates were miles out.
Well,
your estimate was 50%, 100% out. You estimated 400 and you only did 200.
Only spent 200.
Yeah, that's a rubbish estimate.
It may or may not be. Sometimes you get a bit of luck, you know. Sometimes things come under.
Still a rubbish estimate.
Because I should have known.
Wrong.
I should have known that I was going to write a report last week.
I mean, the optimum position is everything's on the datum, isn't it? Everything's on the planned cost.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, it is.
It's
got to be. Otherwise, something's wrong.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is the optimum position
CPI and SPI1's nominal, isn't it?
equal 1? Is that good?
That's perfect.
Is it less than 1? I thought CPI and SPI less than 1 was good.
No. All right, 98%. 0.98.
Okay, well,
a little bit under.
Let's not argue what was good.
A little bit of efficiency is a good thing.
Yes.
But too much efficiency is a bad thing.
Yes, it depends.
Because you'll have set aside all that money to do your project when I could have been doing another project.
It's true. But remember, this is only one work package. So there may be other work packages that haven't gone quite so well on the project.
So you're going to via money between work packages now, are you?
No.
So what's the point of underachieving on one? Because you're going to underachieve on the project.
Because I may be overspending on another work package, which will compensate itself. So the problem with earned value is it all work packages.
You can't via money across budgets.
No, I'm not going to via money. But the problem with earned value is that earned value of 540 gets added to all the other work packages in this plan.
So it gets camouflaged.
So
your poor performance elsewhere gets...
So poor performance elsewhere might be
masked. That's another disadvantage.
It is.
Big disadvantage, that.
Yes. So it's a bulk measure of progress.
Just because you're doing well on that one might mean you've got all your good resources on one work package and rubbish ones everywhere else.
Best people on this one and my not so good people on. So that's the other weakness of earned value, is that it smears out the performance across all the project, all the work packages. So what this tells me is that I'm ahead of plan and significantly underspent.
Yes,
I should have done £400. Okay. I've delivered 540, and I've only spent 200 to achieve it.
That's right. It's rubbish.
Well, it depends what your success criteria are and what's important to you.
It's fantastic then.
It's neither fantastic or rubbish. It depends what.
Well, it's not perfect.
Well, it depends. If your aim is to maximise your profit.
No, we're not talking about profit.
This is fantastic.
Don't get confused with value and profit.
Yes.
Because this is all about cost. It's got nothing to do with what you sell it for.
No.
If it's a time materials project, it's rubbish because you're not going to bill the customers much.
That's right. So I don't think you can say whether it's good or bad, actually, because you need to know what
the context is.
What the context is.
Uh-huh.
But what we can say is that we're ahead of plan and underspent.
Oh, that's rubbish to be.
Yes, I mean, it'd be awful, wouldn't it, to finish early and underspend? Yeah. I mean, it'd be much better to
what are we going to do for the rest of the week?
Spend all the budget. I mean, just because we've got the budget,
what about this other bloke that hasn't been working?
Oh, no, he's got to make him redundant.
He's down the bus stop. You're wicked.
Okay, well, this is really interesting. So earned value isn't a value judgment system. What it does, it highlights issues for you to then decide what you're going to do about them.
Okay, it's a bit late now, though, isn't it? It's nearly finished.
Yes, it has. So we can actually extrapolate this to say, well, looks like at this rate we're going to finish lunchtime tomorrow, and but when we finish lunchtime
no, you won't, because you've got 10% of you only got 10% of 3 days duration left.
Yes, so we can do some equations to work that out.
So 3 days is 24, it's 2.4 hours.
Correct.
So he's going to finish around about 11 o'clock.
About 11 o'clock.
At 20 past 11 he'll finish.
Yes, about that.
But is that accurate then?
Big assumption, John. What's the big assumption?
That the percent completes right.
Correct. And that the future performance is the same as the past
it's
performance.
Predicated, yes, that's right.
And the same for cost. So if I extrapolate that I've only got another 2 hours to do, then the assumption is that the future is the same as the past.
Yeah, well, that's right. So you're only going to spend another 10% of your budget.
Yes.
You're only going to spend another 60 quid.
Which may or may not be true. It's like a car journey, going back to cars.
It's like
just because you're beating the tom-tom so far doesn't mean...
Well, yeah, but be careful, because that can recalculate.
as we had on when we went out the other day, there was a road accident round the corner that puts you an hour and a half late.
Yes. But old Tom's recalculating all the time.
Yes, except when you get a...
Well, it's like what they put on the
multi-car smash in front of you.
On the share adverts, isn't it? Future performance cannot be derived from...
So that's another weakness of earned value. So the advantage of earned value is it produces future forecasts. The disadvantage is that you might believe them. So that's earned value. So there are a couple of... I think we'll probably stop there because that's the principles of earned value. You can then do loads of
I always reckon that if people get the principles, that's enough to discuss the benefits and disadvantages of it.
You can then do lots of statistics on this and maths.
It's not stats, is it? It's just a bit of navel gazing.
Calculation.
Yeah.
Some performance metrics.
Yeah, I think it's worth pointing out to people that are going to do the exam is that you don't get the formulae in the exam.
No, you have to learn them.
So you have to learn them, and you need a sort of technique to learn things. It's different people learn in different ways, and it's some people like to write it on a card, turn it over, write it again, write it on a card.
Yes.
But I always think if you learn it wrong in the first place, you never relearn things.
Yes.
It's like the bloke on Lonely Fools and Horses, isn't it? Calls him Dave for the last 30 years, and his name's Mike or something. Once you've learnt someone's name incorrectly, so it's important that you kind of pay attention to the first pass of this.
Yes.
And then
once you understand the principles,
and then find a way that works for you. That's right.
Learn the equations, which are set out in the book. And I think if we start going to those, we're going to just really lose people.
Well, we'll lose people because it's not right. I mean, there's a good drawing. If you're going to put a picture of that on the, Try not to get the nuts in it, though.
The nuts we're eating while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
So I think that's principles of earned value.
So can we just summarise the advantages and disadvantages?
Yes.
While we're here,
the advantage is it gives you an integrated assessment of plan, cost, and progress.
That's a very complicated phrase.
Well, it gives you
integrated assessment,
a combined assessment, a common measurement of.
All right, it gives you a perspective, a view of the relationship between those three things.
Yes.
Okay, keep the language simple.
Yes.
And then, what else?
Enables you to produce forecasts.
Yeah, but that relies on the numbers, doesn't it?
Yes.
You have to do the formulae to calculate the CPI and the SPI.
Yes.
But it does allow you to extrapolate the curves to see
Yes.
where they're going to end up.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It allows you to do measures of where you are today.
Allows you to do.
Yes, so you can calculate performance measures for today.
It gives you a systematic way of doing that.
Yes.
Okay, that's an advantage, is it?
Yes.
Okay. I would have thought the advantage is the rigour.
Yes, it gives you a rigorous way of doing that.
So it instills rigour.
Yes.
In your recording mechanisms.
And your planning actually.
And your planning as well.
And your planning
Yeah.
actually as well.
Yeah. So it instills rigour.
Yes.
Okay.
We've done the forecasts, and it highlights areas that need attention.
How does it do that?
Well, because if you've got 10 work packages and 9 of them are going well, and one of them's like mine,
yes,
it makes you go.
But what might be going wrong though? It doesn't tell you what might be going wrong.
No, but it just points you in the right direction.
Yeah, because they used to ask you that in the questions. They used to say, "And what might be going wrong?" Comment on the health, and that was all a bit cheeky.
Comment
really.
on the health.
Yeah, 'cause that was always a bit cheeky because it kind of implied that
there's a value judgment there.
Well, yeah, there's a value judgment.
Yes, that's right.
You realised a bit of experience.
Yes, that's right. So this example, it might be good or it might be bad.
A non-project manager wouldn't know.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so it doesn't intuitively give you the answer like that.
Yes.
It doesn't say, well, there's like a bunch of wastes.
You want to do disadvantages?
Yeah.
If you just do one earned value figure for the whole project, you can bury bad news. So bad news can be masked by the overall
It's sort of camouflage, isn't it?
It's camouflage. Oldest technique is.
What else? What other disadvantage?
You need to be able to measure percentage complete accurately.
Yeah, and on a report, that's really hard. On a software system, that's really
so there's whole chapters on that bit. The other disadvantage is change. It's quite difficult to manage. So when you re-baseline the plan, all the earned value curves go wobbly. Because
especially if you start breaking work packages up, because then you've got to decide how to attribute them.
Yeah, more work comes in, more work goes out.
Yeah,
and
I think that the consequence of that is that it encourages people to not change the plan.
Yes, maybe,
and just carry on and kind of fudge it.
Yes, maybe, and then I think also the jargon is a little bit. I mean, in the book we've got all this definition of jargon, and we've just been through it before we start the podcast, and that becomes a barrier, I think.
Yeah, I think also another disadvantage of it is that people, once you start measuring things, people manipulate the measures to suit.
One of the organisations I worked paid their project managers when they had one.
Yes.
So if their cost performance and schedule performance equaled 1 at the end of the year, they got their bonus, plus or minus 0.5%.
Yeah, it's surprising how many had one.
So they all had one.
Yeah. So and then January it was all rubbish again.
Yeah. They were very good actually. Every month they just did a change request to re-baseline the plan. So if you're going to pay people, people will find a way of.
I think it's. I think it's a. I can't think of another alternative, because the principle of it, measuring what you've done against what you said you were going to do, how much you spent doing it, are the three kind of the holy trinity of it all, isn't it? It's the three. Yes. But I do think that it's held up as being a bit of a silver bullet and the solution to all the problems.
I think it needs a certain level of maturity. You need to be pretty
grown up.
Yeah, you need to be really happy with cost-loaded plans and resources and all the accruals.
I think a big
accruals and your measurement of progress, and unless you've got that, it's not gonna. Most it's not. Well, I don't know.
Do you?
Some people really.
Do you accrue costs then?
Yeah, well, that's why this actual cost has to be including the accruals, because these guys might not have done their timesheets yet. You see, or they may have done So that actual cost has to be an accrued cost. It has to be the actual cost plus the accruals, because I'm measuring the progress on percentage complete.
At now, as of today,
And so I have to have that cost has to be accrued. So that's why accruals are.
So you need accruals by work package.
You do, definitely. Yeah.
No, it's complicated. I mean, I can see this turning into a cottage industry.
It is.
This risk management and benefits management.
Your two
my three horrible cottage industries. Little people sitting in darkened rooms with calculators with lots of notes on them.
Be very careful. The new president of the APM is a real advocate of...
Steve?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know Steve Wake.
No, I do.
I'm quite happy to have a discussion with him.
Yes, but anyway.
Yeah.
Good.
Actually, I do know Steve Wake.
That's excellent. So that's that done. Should we move on?
Have you finished?
Yes.
Oh, God. How long did that take?
25 minutes. That's a long one.
Well, let's hope you can photograph that and put it on the website.
I will.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast and found it informative. To order a study guide, e-learning, or a tutor-led course to go with this podcast, please visit www.parallelprojecttraining.com.